Hello, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. It's February 14th, the day of love. Don't be a curmudgeon about Valentine's Day. I saw someone online say something like, Happy Made Up Day by Hallmark or something like that, or, something about it being inconsequential and a fake day of love. But just embrace it and, feel the love all around you. I have to apologize in advance because I'm a little coughing a little bit today. So I have my water here. So it's Valentine's Day. So I know we really can't go anywhere. I know in my area in New Jersey, the restaurants some of them are open, but for a really small capacity. And I think most people just don't want to go out anyway. And, maybe it'll save us all a lot of money. And maybe we can learn how to tone down Valentine's Day and do something a little more special at home this year. And maybe that will become our new tradition. I noticed on my I have two websites, donnadroza.com and mostlymediterranean.com, which you probably know. And on mostlymediterranean.com, for the entire month, maybe the last 3 weeks, excuse me, overwhelmingly, my chocolate brownies full of love recipe has been number one. So people are baking at home. And my chocolate brownies full of love recipe is a really nice brownie recipe that I have that I baked in heart-shaped silicone molds. So it made them really fun for Valentine's Day. Let me just refresh my page here so I can see if anyone is joining me live. And I'm really sorry about my voice today. So here we are. So what else can we talk about today? So, my chocolate brownie full of love recipe, it's not in my cookbook, but it is on my website. So as soon as we're done here, I'll put a link to it down below if you want to make brownies today. And also for dinner, because we're not going anywhere for Valentine's Day, I'm going to make spaghetti with a pistachio cream sauce and spicy Calabrian shrimp. And both of those recipes are in my cookbook, but I also have videos for them. So as soon as we're done here, I'll put the links to the videos for the two recipes down below. They're both really fun recipes. They're easy. They don't take a lot of time. Especially the spicy Calabrian shrimp, if you've never had it, it's so good. And you don't really need to eat a lot of shrimp in one sitting, so you can spice it up and just make it an accent to the dish. And I thought it would go really nicely with the pistachio cream sauce. So if you're looking for something special to make for dinner tonight, maybe you can try those things. So let me take a sip of water. I'm really sorry about my voice. I kind of just went out right before we started filming. So to anyone who's joining me live, hello. And if you're watching the replay, feel free to ask me any comments down below or feel free to write to me in the chat. Oh, hello, Maestro. How are you today? Thank you for joining me. I wanted to talk a little bit about, because we are stuck at home, creating a romantic atmosphere in your home. And you can do this whether you live alone or whether you have a large family, if you have a lot of kids, or it's just you and your partner. So things you can do, like you can light a candle. If you can see my candle there on the table. Candles always add a nice romantic glow to things. And if you want to have candles when you're dining, it's important to have candles that aren't scented. You don't want the scent to interfere with the food. But scented candles are lovely for the living room or the bedroom or even the bathroom. Anywhere that you want to have a nice atmosphere when you enter a room. Even when the candles aren't burning, sometimes they give a little scent off just by being in the room. And sometimes I have a rose scented candle by my bedside table. And whenever I walk in my bedroom, even if I just am going in because I wanted to get a book or something, I just have a little hint of it when I walk in, and it gives my room that special atmosphere, and it's like my bedroom smell now. You know what I mean? So candles are a good idea. Other things you can do are maybe hang up some like little strings of lights, or have some really romantic food, like I mentioned, having the brownies or a special dinner, or maybe really colorful foods, or little appetizers are great for creating a romantic atmosphere. Or like how I always do, I have a pretty glass for my water. I used to always have a little plastic Starbucks sippy cup because I didn't want to knock my water over while I was doing it. But then I realized I'm just holding like a little sippy cup, the kind that you would get if you got a takeout drink. So I started using a pretty glass. I swear water tastes better out of a pretty glass. And tonight for dinner, use your pretty dishes. Use the good dishes. Like, don't save them only for Christmas or Thanksgiving or something. Today is a holiday, and your life is a holiday. So use the good dishes. All these things help create a romantic atmosphere by just glamorizing your settings a little bit and using the things that are special to make a special atmosphere for you. And you know what? Even kids get into this kind of stuff. So it doesn't have to be a romantic evening for you and your partner. If you have kids, like, what am I going to do because my kids are home and they want to play video games and things like that? Just, they like cozy time too. My niece used to call it cozy time. They would put on a special program that she used to like to watch at night with her parents, and came on Sunday nights or something, and they would light a candle and they would dim the lights a little bit and they would get under blankets and they would watch this show. And it creates a romantic atmosphere for children too, so they enjoy it too. So the whole family can get into this. So don't worry about Valentine's Day not being some fancy thing that you can't go to a restaurant. Create it for yourself at home. It's a feeling that you create within you that you can have by your surroundings. So February for me, if I update you on my Mediterranean diet progress, I said that February I was going to start concentrating on exercise. So I wanted to give you an update on what I've been doing. And I see people have joined me, so hello. I mentioned last week also that I'm taking a 30-day goal setting class. And part of that is to come up with all the tasks that you need to do for your goal and to put them on your calendar. And then no matter what, to make sure that you follow your calendar and you do those things that are on your calendar. So I did the same with my exercise routine. I thought, I'm going to put on my calendar this exercise routine that I wanted to do. I found an old vintage workout that I used to do in the 80s, and it was a Sports Illustrated Stretch and Strengthen program, and it was starring Elle Macpherson. I used to really like it when I was very young, and I found it on YouTube, and I thought, I'm going to do this because I remember really liking this. So I put it on my calendar, and then of course, when the time came and my little calendar thing blinged, I was just like, I have so much to do. I don't have time to do a Sports Illustrated workout. But I thought, no, it's on my calendar, and I'm a woman who shows up for what is on my calendar. So I thought, well, I'll just do the opening warm-up, and I know it's about 10 minutes or so. So I put everything, out of my way, and I started doing the warm-up. I put the YouTube video and I cast it over my Apple TV onto my television, and I started doing the warm-up, and it just felt so good that I ended up just continuing and doing the whole thing, and it was about a 45-minute program. I felt so proud of myself that day, and I was walking tall, and I just felt great, and it kind of reminded me of my younger days because I was doing this workout that I used to do, and I kind of couldn't do it like I used to be able to do it when I was young, but I was still showing up for myself, and I thought if I continue to do this, I'll get better and better at it, and maybe get back into a little bit of shape. And it's really important to show up for yourself as a woman. So put things on your calendar and then make sure that you follow your own advice and you do it. Because if I didn't, I just would have felt bad about myself that day. Like I was telling myself, oh, I have a blog post to write, I have a video to edit, I have so much to do, I don't really have time for this. I made time. I made time for myself. I scheduled it on my calendar like I would any other activity, any other business activity during the day. And I just did it. And it just made a world of difference. And that feeling carried over through the rest of the week. I was just like, you know what? I am this woman who shows up for my calendar. And you can do the same thing. So let me know if this technique works for you. So whatever you want to have happening in your life, start breaking it down into tasks and putting it on your calendar and then telling yourself, I'm not allowed to ignore my calendar. I have to do it. And I think you'll really be surprised at how good you feel about yourself at the end of it. So again, I apologize for my voice. I'm losing it. I wanted to update you as well on my podcast, because part of my 30-day goal was to launch my podcast by the end of the month. So I wrote 10 podcast episodes so far. I recorded the voiceover for 3 of them. And it's funny because I put these things on my calendar. And part of the class is to not schedule too much time for these things that you put on your calendar. And my coach's suggestion was to schedule things on your calendar and then take about a half hour off for it. Because if you schedule a week for it, it'll take you a week. If you schedule an hour, it'll take you an hour, right? So I put down to write an episode each day during the week. And then I found when I did one that in the first day I wrote 2 episodes. The next day I wrote another 2 episodes. And I really started getting into a groove. And I started doing more than I had to. So then when a day came up where I had one on my calendar, but I was so far ahead, I could just actually take that time off and do something else, maybe do an exercise program. And then I did the same thing with the editing process, or with the voiceover process. I put down, all right, I'm going to record voiceover for at least 2 of them. I ended up doing 3 instead because it was going well. And then I thought, I put on my calendar, I'm going to edit 1 each day. I had 3 episodes recorded, 10 written, 3 recorded, and I'm going to start editing. And I sat down to edit 1 episode, and I edited all 3 together. So then the next day when I had on my calendar that I was going to edit, I had already done it. So what I did was I found music for it. So that's where I am with my podcast. I have 10 written, 3 edited. I found the music that I want to use for it. And now I need to kind of put them together in episodes, and then I can start releasing them. So I'm so proud of myself, and I'm so happy that I took this calendaring class because it's really helping me get things done. Not that I didn't know how to do these things before, but sometimes you just need a little encouragement by a coach to tell you how exactly to do it and to show you how they use their calendar. And it kind of gives you some ideas where you're like, all right, I really know how to do this now. And it kind of gives you a step-by-step guide. And then when you show up for your calendar, magical things happen. So I am going to be launching a podcast by the end of the month, and I can't wait to tell you more about it when it's actually ready. So that is my news for my podcast. So we are about 13 minutes into the episode now, and that's all I really had. Oh, I see. I have a comment here. My writing desk has more clothes on top of it than my bureau drawers. That's another thing. So when I was talking about romanticizing your atmosphere for Valentine's Day, there's another concept of if you declutter your space and your surroundings, you also are decluttering your mind. So why do you have clothes on your writing desk? Are you trying to avoid writing? Think about that. So if you cleared your desk off, it would be so easy for you to sit down and just start writing. But it's natural for us to just start piling stuff up on those kind of things. And it's interesting that it's your writing desk and not like, your bedside table, right? So you're doing it actually on your desk and you're creating obstacles for yourself. So that's something to think about. So I encourage you, Maestro, to clean off your writing desk and then see if that prompts your creativity with your writing. Decluttering your space is such an important thing. I was just listening to a talk by someone who was talking about your living surroundings and if you're not real happy with your living situation and how to make the best of it. Because some of us are not living in our ideal situation at the moment, and you can't wait till you can get out, or you want a bigger home, or you want to buy a home and get out of your apartment or whatever, get out of your parents' house, whatever your situation is. To think about being grateful for the roof over your head and that you have a safe place to live. And then start thinking about how your surroundings make you feel. So in this talk that the woman was giving, she had us all close our eyes in the room that we were in and just think about how the things that are around you in your room make you feel. And if you're in wherever your writing desk is, if you sit there and you close your eyes and you think about the weight of that desk and how much stuff is on it, I think if you clean that off, you'll feel a weight lifted, and maybe you'll be more able to sit down and then write, and it will kind of take the weight off of your creativity and it can start flowing again. So do that, Maestro. Clear off that desk. And I want to hear, if you join me next week, I want to hear that you were using your writing desk. So does anyone else have any questions before we sign off? I don't want to keep anyone too long today because it is Valentine's Day and you may have plans and you may want to start preparing some little special things in your home, or just maybe if you're by yourself, maybe you want to give yourself a face mask or something, do something special for yourself for Valentine's Day. It's a day of love. Think about self-love and all the forms of love that we have in our lives. So if I don't see any comments, I think that is all I'm going to have for you today. And next week will be 3 weeks into February, so we'll talk more about my exercise goals, and I'll tell you more about how the podcast is coming along. So I think that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much if you're joining me, and if you're watching the replay, you can always give me some comments down below or just say hello. Okay, have a nice day. Bye.